the video on these grapes that have been given. So, my friends having to clear out of the freezer, and they had some grapes from last year in the freezer, and they said, did I want them? And my first reaction was, oh, thank you, but no thank you, because it'll just kind of give me a job to do. And then they asked me again. I don't know if they're getting a bit forgetful, but then they asked me again, so maybe they kind of really wanted me to have the grapes, and they didn't want to have to throw them away, so they tried it again. And I had a bit of a thought about it, and I kind of thought to myself, well, yeah, it'll give me, I'll have to do something with them, because I can't just put them in my freezer and forget about them. We'll have to do something with them. So I was kind of thinking, yeah, take them, and then we'll have a play around with them. So I was kind of thinking, I played around with grape jelly last year. Well, my initial thought was, we're going to ferment them and turn them into wine and then into vinegar. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. It seems like a long, laborious process. Do I want to think about turning them into like a balsamic vinegar? You know, but they are sweet grapes, and you kind of need a non-edible grape to make balsamic vinegar. So I kind of thought, no, kind of don't want to do that. So I kind of thought, well, we'll play around with the idea that I had last year with making grape jelly, where we reduce the juice of the grapes first, rather than boiling the juice with the sugar, which seems to me that all you really kind of do is make a heavy grape juice syrup with the amount of sugar that you have to put into it. So let's kind of, instead of having to boil the sugar and watch it because it doesn't boil over, let's take the juice from the grapes, reduce that down first, and then put the grapes into the juice, cook that down, and then extract the juice from that. And then we should just be able to kind of use that juice and add some sugar to it and make the grape jelly from that. That's kind of like my thinking of cutting out the amount of boiling of jelly that we have to kind of do. And also, because these grapes have been frozen in the last year's grapes, so we are in July, so the grapes aren't going to be ready until the August, September, like start of October, end of September, start of October kind of time, depending on where you are in the world. So these are last year's grapes, and so because they've been frozen, they've what we call, all the juices kind of leached out of them. So let's siphon off. Let's work out what we've got first. So just a rough idea. I've got some lemons as well that I need to use up, and we've got some pectin and all kinds of other things as well. So let's pour off this juice, and we'll see how much juice we've got and how much weight of grapes, and then we can see what kind of recipe we can kind of quite go at. But because these grapes will be wasted anyway, we can have a play around, and if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. They're only going to go on my friend's compost anyway. And I didn't want to make a cordial out of them because they've given me these grapes before, and they're not particularly that nice to eat anyway. They've got like a bit of a different kind of flavour to them. I don't know, they grow them in the greenhouse, but anyway, so that's me. So that's the juice. We've got just short of 2 litres of juice. Let's pour those grapes in there, like that. And they've got a bit of a funky flavour to them already, so I think they've started to ferment on the vine, which is probably a good thing for making wine, but not for me. So I have to do this off camera because that's not level, so it throws my scales off. So done that wrong, I didn't tear it off. So I have to do it off camera. Oh no, that's set at 0. So the weight of this nice box will be the weight of grapes. So we've got 4.2 kilos worth of grapes. So putting that in a big enough pan, reduce it down, and then put those grapes in it, cook the grapes, then extract the juice from that, then reduce that juice down a little bit and add some sugar to that. I've got some lemons that need to go in as well, so lemons and the pips as well. So I need to kind of do that, but first of all, that can go in the pan and that can reduce off. So any kind of, my thoughts are, any kind of liquid that we evaporate off now, like the water from that, and keep the flavour of the grapes, any kind of liquid that we can evaporate off, beforehand will make the process of making the jelly stroke grape easier down the line. That's my thoughts anyway. But this is mostly just me faffing, like most of my videos are. So I've reduced the juice and the lemon juice as well. So I've put in about 9 lemons worth of juice. They're quite small lemons. Yeah, small lemons. Not super small. I'd say medium-sized lemons. So 9 medium-sized lemons. If we need some more acidity in it, I'll put some citric acid in. I don't really want to buy any more lemons. So taking it down by about half. There is juice going in there, but that'll be fine. So boil this up, squish it a bit to extract more juice out of the grapes, and then we'll strain it through a cloth and we'll see how much juice we've got, and then we'll carry on the process. So, but by evaporating some of the juice off, liquid off first, we'll speed up the process later on, I think, but anyway. So that'll be fine. Up to boil, simmer for a good 20-30 minutes, so these all become soft and all the juice wants to pop out of them. Have we got seeds in, or are they seedless? No, I think they're seedless. No, there's some seeds in them. That's okay. Let's just double check. Yeah, some seeds in them, so there'll be some pectin in those seeds. So we might not need the pectin that we've got anyway. So I'm waffling as always. You know what I'm doing. We're back when it's reduced. Well, not reduced, when it's cooked. I have boiled it up for half an hour or so, and I've also stuck the hand blender in it just to pulp everything up, because I want as much juice out of this as possible. I'm not bothered about it being crystal clear. I'm not showing it off at the local country fair or putting it in it for a prize against the local WI. I just want the jelly. I'm not bothered about its appearance. Just more interested in the taste more than anything. So that's why I've just given it a pulp down. So put it through a couple of layers of cloth. We'll leave it to go through that cloth overnight. I don't really want to do that on camera because it's going to spill everywhere. So put the layers of cloth. We'll let it drain through overnight. It'll also cool, and then we'll have a look at it in the morning. Well, it won't be morning, it'll be afternoon, because I'm going to go to yoga in the morning. So it'll be probably mid-afternoon by the time I've recovered and had a snooze, because I've got to that age in life. So that's kidding, actually. I've always had a snooze in the afternoon if I can get away with it. So that's off. Through there, we'll have a look at it tomorrow. We might reduce it down further, but we'll play it by ear, I think. So the grapes have been dripping through the cloth for a couple of days. I got a bit sidetracked. I got fed up and I decided I wanted to go out for the day. So I didn't make the grape jelly the day afterwards, hence why I'm making it today. And I noticed that looking at liquid, there's lots of, I'm sure it's tartaric crystals, or tartaric acid, I forget which it is, tartarite, something like that, that are formed in this juice. And I think it's because I reduced it. So I don't think reducing the grape juice down beforehand is a good idea. I've strained it. So let's just, we can see the crystals, some crystals there that have come out through the sieve. And let's just have a look at the debris in the bottom of this pan. So there's quite a lot of debris. Can you hear it? That's all like crystals that are formed on the bottom of the pan. So I don't know if it's because it's these grapes that I've been given or because I've reduced it down, but it's certainly a lot of crystals in there. So I've strained it and we're left with the juice there, and I'm thinking that maybe we should strain that juice again. Now I don't think that, I think like it won't just carry on crystallizing until it forms one big crystal. I think there's only a certain amount of crystals that will form from this grape juice. I don't know though. But I kind of think if we could sieve out more of the crystals, then I think it might be okay. This is why my videos get a bit longer than necessary, aren't they? Because I'm always faffing around with something. But if we don't faff around, we don't learn, do we? Well, what we've got. There's the other video. It says it's not faffing around, is it? It's messing around, but with an F. So I think if we put that through a cloth, now this is a bit of old bed linen, but it's Egyptian cottons, and I think it's 600 thread, so it's kind of quite fine. So we should. It'll take time to go through, but we'll sieve out the majority of the crystals, and then hopefully be able to do something with this. So there's 2.3 litres worth of juice in there, and I think it's reduced enough that we'll just be able to add the sugar and turn it into the jelly. I think, yeah, that tastes kind of quite nice. We might just juice it a little bit more, but we'll strain it through a cloth and get out as many crystals as possible, and then we'll turn it into a jelly. So it's had a couple of hours to drain through. Let's have a look at it. Gently, and then see if it's caught the crystals or it hasn't. Ah, no, there we go. There's certainly some sediment and some crystals in there. So we don't want those in that, do we? No, we don't want that at all. So that out of the way, onto the pile of ever increasing washing up. So, and just knock it over. What am I going to do now? Give it a taste. Give it a boil. That looks nice and clear. Tastes pretty good. So it's about 2.2 litres. So we're going to want 2 kilos of sugar. I think 600 millilitres of liquid to 500 grams worth of sugar and 15 grams worth of pectin. So I've got my home collected pectin, and I've got some pectin in a bottle as well. So we'll be using that. So see if there's any sediment in this pan. I'm going to pour it through. That doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. So no sediment, no crystals in there. So that looks okay. Right, up to the boil. Add some sugar. Now we need to keep some of that back, don't we? Because we need to mix it with the pectin. That was something I needed to remember to do. So just need to keep some of that liquid back to blend into the pectin. Right, so up to the boil. Right, so that juice is coming up to the boil. I'm going to put 2 lemon juices in. So I'll put the lemon juice in with the pectin, 15 grams of pectin for every 500 grams worth of sugar. Yeah, I'll do the recipe in the description. I haven't added the sugar in yet. I'm going to add this pectin first. Yeah, and it's the juice from the lemons that has dissolved the pectin. So good boil. I'm gonna this bottle of pectin that I've got. I also used to follow the recipe. It should just tell you how much of this pectin to use for how much liquid you kind of jam you're making, but it doesn't. Anyway, let's just plonk all that in as well, just to be on the safe side. I don't think it'll make any difference. Into there, like that. Could do to rinse that out with something. Just a little bit of water. There. Like that. I end up with lots of things in the cupboard through experiments, and half containers of this and half containers of that, and sometimes I just think, oh, we'll just use it up. So, first kilo of sugar. I'm not using jam sugar, I'm just using the normal sugar from the supermarket. And then we'll give it a good boil. I could do with some kind of thing to put all the dirty cutlery on. And dirty spoons so they don't make a mess of the worktops. That's my second peeve, actually. always seem to be wiping down work surfaces, which you do as a chef anyway, but I think I could work a little bit cleaner. That's a lovely colour, isn't it? Right, so let's get those sugar crystals off me whisk. Give that a good boil. We might be able to tell from the way it boils if we've got enough sugar and pectin in there, or if we need to reduce it down. But we'll give it a taste. I'm not that bothered if it doesn't set properly, because this video was turned into a me faffing around video rather than something that's actually useful for anyone. Right, so my thermometer, which isn't very good, says we're at about 103, which is the right temperature for it to set. So I've had a plate in the freezer, so that'll cool down the jelly quickly. It's lovely and clear. Look at that. That's obviously down to all the faffing and filtering that we've done. So is that going to set? A little bit. A little bit. I have found with jellies that they do set once you leave them. Oh, there we go. That seems to be doing better. Now it's cooled. They do seem to set better once they've been in the sealed and in the cupboard for a couple of months. So let's put that in jars, and then we'll let it set up overnight, and we'll see what it's like tomorrow. And at some point in the future, when we're on the last jar, I'll do an update to kind of see if any crystals have formed, because we've removed quite a lot of the crystals from that, and I think it's a finite thing. So once the crystals are, they're not going to get to like a huge stage. There's only going to be so many of them. So by extracting them now, have we saved that from happening in the future? That's suppose what I'm getting at. But that will be sometime in the future of a video, and I'll probably tie it in with something else, because there's lots of little projects that I do that don't kind of warrant a whole video themselves. So like I'm going to do one in a few weeks time, like the update on all the vinegars that I've got going that are just on the cupboard shelf at the moment, and you can think, well, where are they? But like, you know, do you really want to see a 5-minute video on video that I made for some coffee? No, not really, but I've got 8 other vinegars on the go, and to update them all in one video would be a little bit more interesting. So we'll jar it up, we'll see what happens. Oh, I didn't put these in the oven. I normally put things, you normally put things in the oven at about 80 degrees to sterilise them. I just filled them full of boiling water and put the lid on, and then that'll kill any kind of bacteria that's in them. So let's have a look at this grape jelly. I think it's set. It looks like it has. These have got a little bit of foam on. That's set. Not particularly very well, but it's set. It's got some foam on top. I should have scooped that off, but you know. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's worked, hasn't it? Oh, that's good. So that's set. And that'll get, oh, it's nice and clear as well. Nice and clear. It's not crystal clear, but it's clear enough. So obviously that filtering all those crystals out has done its job. Let's have a taste. That's lovely. That's really good, is that? So the grapes weren't that nice to start off with. They were a little bit funky. I don't know if they'd started to ferment on the vine before my friend had picked them, and then kind of froze them, and they retained some of that funky kind of flavour. I think maybe. But anyway, so how? I don't know what is this video about. This is me making grape jelly in a different way and thinking I was going to fail, but actually it worked out in the end. I think so. Did I do it a long way around in making it? I don't know. But it certainly took a lot less cooking. By reducing the juice down beforehand, it certainly cut down on the cooking time. I think freezing. I think I don't think doing it this way is better. I think cooking the grapes and the grape juice, once they've been frozen, cooking it all together with some lemon, and then straining it, and then reducing that juice down by half, and then adding the sugar and the pectin would be a better way of doing it, rather than boiling all that juice and sugar and pectin up for a good hour before it gets to the right kind of temperature. So, but we'll see in a few months' time if we've stopped the crystals from forming. So maybe the video's about that, but the results will be out in a few months' time when I've eaten that, and that, which seems like it's going to be a long time. So, potentially a success.